Welcome to Song Sleuth. This is Sherwood Snyder at Wildlife Acoustics. I lead the Song Sleuth development team, and I wanted to provide you a quick walkthrough of the app's function and features. This video can always be accessed by tapping Help on the information screen of the app, and much more information is available in the other help sections located there. Let's get started. When you first run the app, you'll be taken to the species list screen. This shows all the birds the app can identify. You'll be asked to choose your state. I have already chosen Florida for this video. The app will automatically select the birds most likely to be heard in your state at this time of year. You can override the selection by checking or unchecking other birds. Remember, the app will only recognize birds that are selected on this list. If you want to test the app by playing bird recordings from an online source or the like, make sure to play species that are selected on this list. Now let's identify a bird. We will go to the Record and ID screen. The Record and the ID screen shows you a streaming spectrogram. This allows you to visually see bird songs and other sounds like my voice. It shows you the frequencies, timing, and amplitude of the sounds as they occur. I'll whistle. You can pan and zoom. You can also change settings, brightness, contrast. When you hear a bird song you wish to identify, just press the record button. A recording will begin 3 seconds back in time, as represented by the white arrow at the bottom of the spectrogram. This makes sure the song is recorded even with your reaction time. Press the button again to stop the recording. Try and get as close to the bird as possible without interrupting its song. That's part of the fun. Also try and get a recording of only that bird without other bird songs or other noises. If it's quiet, you can record the bird singing more than one song. That can sometimes help the identification. Let's record a bird and give it a try. After recording, you'll be shown the 3 most likely matches. The top bird is not necessarily the correct bird. It's up to you now to determine the correct bird and hopefully learn at the same time. There's several tools to help you make the determination. First, you can play back your recording and similar sample songs from each bird. Here's our recording. And a couple of the examples. Definitely sounds like a hermit thrush to me. The examples are sorted in order of similarity to your recording. You can view all of the samples available. It can be useful to listen to even the less similar examples to get a sense of what other calls and noises the bird makes. Song Sleuth, as the name implies, identifies bird songs, not chips and alarms and calls, which are usually less distinct. Song Sleuth will identify some unique calls. You can also explore the Sibley bird reference from this screen to learn more about each bird. You can access the Sibley illustration painted by David Sibley. You can view a zoomable range map. And a bar chart that shows the likelihood that the bird is in your state. The dark bar shows the current time of year, February right now, and you can view the scale to see definitions of the different levels. This information might help you determine which of 2 birds is more likely if they sound extremely similar. If one is much more prevalent, that's a pretty good clue. You can also read a description of the bird and its vocalizations written by David Sibley. And you can access, again, the example recordings. From here you can play the recordings like on the likely matches screen, but you can also examine the spectrogram of each recording and play back the song. You can also play back the song at slower or faster speeds. Here's the song at real time. And here's the song slowed down to 1/8 speed. Pretty interesting. Another tool on the likely matches screen is spectrogram compare mode, which allows you to see your recording spectrogram and the spectrogram of any sample recording side by side. Sometimes it's possible to see details or pick up on patterns more easily by viewing the song rather than listening. There are also a few options at the top of the screen. You can add a note to the recording. The note will be saved with the recording to view later. You can share the recording. And if you send the recording to someone else with Song Sleuth, they can import it into their app. You can also open the spectrogram, and here you can trim the recording or filter out other sounds by zooming in. And lastly, you can choose an alternate bird or even type your own ID if you don't think any of the matches fits. Once you've decided on a bird, you can select the bird and save the recording by pressing the check mark at the top right. If you don't want to save the recording, you can press the delete button. All of your saved recordings can be accessed on the recording list screen. You can sort by time or species. You can search for species or search through your notes, and access many of the functions covered on the likely matches screen by swiping left on any recording. The app comes with several example recordings for you to experiment with. These were all recorded by myself using the app on an iPhone with a built-in microphone, and you can run the ID on any of these recordings. You'll need to select New York on the species list screen to assure that the birds match what I actually recorded. And by the way, when you run the identification on a recording, in the background the app selects not the birds checked on the species list corresponding to the current time of year, but instead the species that would have been likely at that time of year. You can also view all of your recording locations from GPS view. Here you can see all of the recordings I've made on my phone. You need an iPhone or a cellular-enabled iPad, which has a GPS chip on it. You can also open the recordings from the map. Please look through the help sections on the information screen. You'll find much more info than in this video on how the app works and features not covered here. Good luck and happy birding!